Fox 5 political analyst Carl Luna joins me now with more insight into what comes next. Carl, thank you for being here on a Friday night.
Thank you for having me.
Well, as you know, she only stood about 5 feet tall, but she became a legal giant. I'd like to hear your comments on what you think her legacy is.
Well, she has so many different legacies, Kathleen. She has her judicial record when she was on the bench, which is mostly writing opinions for the losing side, which will probably come back to form opinions for decades to come when you try to reverse some of the decisions she opposed. All of her time before she was on the bench, when she was an arch champion, arguing 4 times successfully before the Supreme Court to expand things like women's rights under the 14th Amendments. And she became a cultural icon, a decent human being who fought for what was right, but still could reach out to people like Antonin Scalia and be a best friend with him. Let us not forget, when she was confirmed in '93, the vote was 96-3 with one abstention. That was the level of cross-aisle support this woman could muster.
Yeah, when is the last time we've seen a vote like that? This is certainly a sad moment for a lot of Americans, another iconic figure gone this year, but it's also a very pivotal one. Talk about that.
Well, this passing Associate Justice Ginsburg is now going to tower, despite her small stature, over this election. I think she is, from looking at the signs of people out in the streets and the mourning going on, I think the party, the Democratic Party, is going to have something of a martyr, of an icon that they're going to be using going into November to really fire up their side, particularly if Republicans try to force through a fast confirmation. In some ways, President Trump is now running against Ruth Bader Ginsburg in the November election.
Well, and on that note, some fundraising tonight, numbers being reported by the New York Times at some $6.2 million poured in an hour after her death for the Democrats, and 100,000 per minute for the hour after that. Particularly Republicans traditionally have seen the Supreme Court as a campaign issue. Where do you think this pushes that up on American voters' lists of reasons to get out to vote now?
Oh, both sides are going to be engaged by this because Republicans have the chance to establish a 6-3 majority of conservatives on that bench that could last until I'm out of the game and until a lot of the people today are collecting retirement. Democrats are starting to wake up to see this as a final line in the sand if they want to hold on to a lot of the rights that they've fought for different groups over the last 30 years. It's going to get messy, particularly if the battle in the Senate tries to progress to put somebody in that seat before the election. Would be almost impossible. And it's never happened historically, but don't see Mitch McConnell not try. You do it after the election, Donald Trump loses and they still do it. It's just throwing gasoline on an already divided national political electorate.
And there's even some theories out there, too, that if the president also loses the election or it's close, that he may contest it, and then a more conservative Supreme Court could end up deciding another election, which is an opinion that Ruth Bader Ginsburg certainly dissented from the first time around.
That's right. If you get another nomination onto the bench, you'll give a decisive 6-3 conservative majority. President will have 3 votes that will likely try to move toward his direction. And then Democrats will yell foul, and the Supreme Court is going to lose its basic credibility. In normal times, this would not be an issue. You'd wait until after the election, and then you would move forward with a nomination and then try to figure out if you're going to confirm. We have not been in normal times for at least the last 4 years, maybe the last 10.
And it could have a big impact on Senate Republican races, could it not?
Yeah, Senate Republicans have to be careful. If they are seen to rush too fast before November, this is going to really mobilize Democrats in key states right now. Mr. Kelly in Arizona, the former astronaut, has a really good chance of winning that for the Democrats, and he takes office as soon as he wins. All the Democrats will need at that point would be 3 Republicans, the Mitt Romneys, the Susan Collinses, the Murkowskis, to join them to block any forward action on a nomination. And they could, in theory, delay it until, if Joe Biden wins, he comes into office in January.
All right. Carl Luna gave us a lot to think about on this Friday night. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.